A Christopher Nolan film is an event, and his new film, The Odyssey, is exactly that. And that's why I especially came all the way to Mumbai to experience the film in IMAX. And it was totally worth it. Watching this film, you realize that Nolan was destined to make this film, adapting one of the greatest Western epic onto the screen. And watching the film, you'll notice so many elements from his previous films. Not that he copied them into this film, but having done those films made it possible to make this one. It's like they all came together to make this big epic. It's similar to what S.S. Rajamouli says, that every film he is making is a stepping stone towards making Mahabharata one day. Every film is a preparation for that. And The Odyssey is a culmination of every Christopher Nolan film. There's a bit of Interstellar, there's a bit of Dunkirk, there's a bit of Oppenheimer. All of those themes are blended together. And of course, his stamp is all over the film. His style for non-linear storytelling, doing montages. Now, I have not read The Odyssey. I've heard that it's also non-linear in its form, and that's what I think attracted it to Nolan. But whatever I know, he has definitely taken big swings with this one. He has been very open about it. It's a modern adaptation of this classic. And through that, he's breaking a lot of myths. He's challenging your understanding of this text with today's sensibilities. Instead of celebrating war, the film is critiquing it. It's a tale of caution. It's an anti-war film. It's about the repercussions of your actions. And all of this makes the story so relevant for today. That's what surprised me, because a story about the Trojan horse, the fall of Troy, these are stories we have heard, even if it's not part of our culture. And to take that in a very different direction needs guts and craft. Now, the characters in this film talk in very modern language, and honestly, I didn't even notice it. It wasn't a deal breaker at all. And Nolan has talked about this, that he wanted to break this idea that everything old should look like 1940s, 1950s films. Period films mean everyone talking in a very high class English. Everything has to be European. He's breaking those stereotypes in this film. And the complaint that that's not authentic makes no sense, because if you want to make it authentic, then it should not be in English at all. It should be in Greek. But no one has a problem with that. Why the characters in Jungle Book talking in English? This whole argument is very faulty. And the whole outrage the film was going through even before the release because of the casting choices. There's a segment of people who think that Nolan is, making Odyssey woke with casting people from different races. It's not authentic at all. But Nolan totally justifies it in the film. And actually, through the casting, he's making bigger statements. Don't worry, I'll not go into spoilers. The film is not just about the epic war or the great journey the character takes, but there are bigger ideas the film is trying to grapple with. And all of it feels very real because the way the characters talk, the way they're talking about their world, it is very much like our own. And again, there's a reason for that. Talking about the technical aspects, of course, the IMAX experience was awesome. I'll make a separate video talking about all that. Now I have to understand what is Nolan's perspective of telling this story. The narrative is fantastical, but he wants to tell it in a very real manner. He wants everything to be in camera, not done in post-production. He wants to design everything in a way which are physically possible. That's why they will look realistic on camera. And he achieves that realism. He wants to go for how these fantastical elements would look if they were real, even for a story like this, and he does it successfully. Like the battles, the monsters, the creatures, the ships, the army of 1,000 men. Because he does most of it practically on real location, all of that adds weight to the sequences. You just feel different while watching it. This time we got to see him dabble into horror. There are multiple sequences that will scare you. Love the background score, and the sound design was on point. There's this one scene where the characters put wax in their ears so they cannot hear anything, and the way through sound they did that was brilliant. When you say epic, it's not just about going big, doing those big hero moments or those action scenes in slow motion. But Nolan built these moments. He constructs them in the screenplay. He sets them up, and when the payoff comes, you are just spellbound. Now, this film is under 3 hours, and a fun fact that because IMAX projectors cannot go over 3 hours, that's why the film is below that. And they almost cut out 40 minutes of footage because the length was going over. And that tells you how much editing was important in this film and in all Christopher Nolan films. Now, initially in the film, it was a bit crazy. There were certain jump cuts which was throwing me off, but once you get in that rhythm, it all just works well. And if you just think about it, it's insane how much story is packed into this film. Every cast member in the film leaves an impression. For me, the biggest standout was Zendaya. She was just outstanding. She's a generational talent. Damon just gave everything for this role, especially his physical performance. And maybe, shooting at real location adds to the performance. And a big character in the film is the camera work. Every frame is so calculated. There are some handheld shots, and in IMAX, it definitely gets you dizzy. And again, knowing, how big of a camera they were using to shoot this, some of the sequences you see, you're like, oh my god, how did they do it? One thing I loved, by the end of this film, Nolan uses his storytelling storytelling tool which keeps the film open to interpretations. It's a film full of gods and monsters, but by the end, it's not certain if everything you saw was real or not. The film just leaves it to you, what you want to think about it. I think I'm naive by saying this, but I feel the Odyssey was written so that Christopher Nolan could one day make a film out of it. I know it's a big statement, but that's what I felt after watching the film. Now, where does this film rank in all the Nolan films? Is it the best one? I'm not sure, because his films grow on you over time, and I cannot wait to rewatch it again. Definitely, it's a top film of the year, but what about the other films of the year which came out in first 6 months? Check out my list here. Do let me know your thoughts about the Odyssey. What do you think about it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Love to talk about it in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.